Greetings and welcome to week 2, our study of Hinduism. And now this allows me to introduce a new worldview. Last time we touched on pluralism. Now with Hinduism, we're looking at a pantheistic religion. We're looking at pantheism. And that's one of our objectives this week, is to differentiate Hinduism, a pantheistic religion, from Christianity, a theistic religion. And these worldviews are very different because at the core, Hinduism, a pantheistic religion, holds to the notion of pan, which means all, plus theos, which means God, the notion that all is God. There's no distinction ultimately between you and me and God and the chair you're sitting in or your laptop. With theism, there is a distinction between God, who's the creator, and the physical world, which is the creation. They're distinct. It's not like they're no longer interactive, because they are, but they're still distinct metaphysically. With pantheism, though, there's no ultimate distinction between the creator and what we think of as the creation. Okay? And that's because we look at the first worldview category, the absolute, the question of what's the ultimate reality, and Hindus refer to that as Brahman, B-R-A-H-M-A-N, which is the concept of not a personal being, but an impersonal force that not only pervades all things, but actually is all things. We see this playing out in our second worldview question, which you'll look at these in your book, in your Matthew's chapter, the question of humanity. And the Hindus have a motto, which is Atman is Brahman. Atman is the concept somewhat like a soul, but they say that the Atman, the human soul, is Brahman. It's like a subset. It's like a drop in the ocean. Of course, in theism or Christianity, the soul is always distinct from God. They can interact, but it's a distinct part of who I am as a human being. And final distinction we could look at is the problem and solution of the world. The Hindu holds that the problem can be defined by karma, which is like bad things you do resulting or reaping bad consequences. You can build up good or bad karma, but it can play into your next life because they believe in reincarnation. With the theist, though, the Christian, which is a theistic religion, they hold that the problem ultimately is sin against God, and the solution is to be forgiven of that sin. In Hinduism, the solution is to escape the cycle of karma, which is the cycle is called samsara. And the escape from that cycle is through what's called moksha. Moksha is when one finally becomes united with Brahman and no longer has to go through the cycles of reincarnation. And that's a quick summary of the distinctions between these religions. So thanks for listening, and talk to you soon.